I can't remember. Do we open these by fading in? Are we fading in right now?
I don't know.
Okay, have we just faded in, or do you have an intro?
We really should write this down at some point.
Sometime. Yeah, but okay, other people are already doing the writing. Why do we have to do more writing?
This is a good point, yes. Well, welcome, everybody.
Yay! I'm Cocky.
I'm Kay.
So natural.
And this is like another episode of a story reading we are doing.
Yeah.
In between the actual content of our podcast.
Did we have a name for them? We sort of... Didn't we? I have a... Is it...
Maybe we'll hear about it when we get back to it in a few weeks' time.
Oh my God. We're so bad at this. Okay, so, hey, I wonder what the chief has picked for us today.
It was written by AxeMeAboutAxinomancy.
Axinomancy, what is that?
That is a very good question.
Chief, what is axinomancy?
So, axinomancy is an obscure method of divination using an axe. So, throwing an axe into the ground or swinging it into a tree and interpreting the direction of the handle or the quivering blade. Alright, look, I've never been a fan of, divination, that kind of stuff at all, but if it involves an axe, I may be into it. I may actually be into it in this specific case, because it's an axe. Yeah, why not?
Can't wait to find out.
Okay, and the title of today's story is Musical Alert.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Published in, looks like July 2024. Ooh, it's a long one at 5,000 words. We're going to be here for a while. I better take a little sip of my Captain Ricard to keep me company. Do we have any warnings?
No, teeing up audiences.
Some interesting relationships.
No particular warning. No archive warnings apply. And it is a Voyager episode.
Yeah.
Voyager story, really.
Despite the tag for Star Trek Strange New Worlds Subspace Rhapsody.
Oh, maybe it's just a reference to... Oh, it's a musical reference, so maybe that's why they...
Oh, this one intrigues me. Podfic available. Now, what do you think podfic is?
Podfic.
Shall I just go ahead and click on that and see what happens? No, it just shows me that there are 7,194
That's quite a few.
Works with podfic available. Chief, what do you think podfic available means?
So, fun story. This is a podfic right now, although I think maybe not with my interjections. But podfic is just it's just reading it out it's basically just an audio version of a fanfic reading, so it's basically just exactly what we're doing right now. Okay, this is kind of wild and meta to be explaining what it is, midway through us doing. Yeah, we're already doing it, that's all. We're doing a podfic right now.
That doesn't help us.
No. So there's going to be a spatial anomaly that is going to make them do things.
Okay. I'm excited.
And I guess we just need to... Oh, yeah, there's a summary for the story. This is the captain speaking. Musical alert. I repeat, musical alert. This is not a rehearsal.
Oh, that's cheeky. I like it a lot. All right, let me set it up so it's nice and legible. Yeah, there we go.
All right. I guess in that case, we might just well just...
Me. I'm up here. I'm up here. You're down here.
Okay, musical alert by AxeMeAboutAxinomancy. Oh, it's not Ask Me, it's Axe Me.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Axinomancy. That's a weird word.
Axinomancy? I liked how you always went anemone there.
Anemone. Never. Well, sticking with the musical thing. Harry looked glum that morning in the turbolift.
What's the matter? Tom asked him.
Harry hesitated fractionally, since they weren't alone in the lift, but Rollins was yawning with a hand over his face, and Fukai was reading another novel on her pad. They weren't interested.
Just a little sick of the status quo.
But who wasn't? But Harry usually maintained an upbeat demeanor, and when he didn't, it really changed the tone for Tom. Kind of took the colour out of the room, you might say. Not that Tom would say that.
Cheer up, was what Tom said. Maybe something interesting will happen today. Oh, may you live in interesting times.
Well, right, there's little 3 asterisks, which I'm assumed to mean is like the bleep bleep.
Oh, do you think it's a chime?
No, it's probably the alert. So, because the next line is, "This is the captain speaking. Musical alert. I repeat, musical alert. This is not a rehearsal."
And then she started to sing it.
You could hear how Janeway didn't want to be singing, but she did a competent enough job of it anyway, because of course she would. The accompanying music helped her stay mostly on key, and she sold it with pure charisma.
This is not a rehearsal. It's just a reversal of everything that would remotely make sense.
It's caused by a fold in the subspace like old. Enterprise 1 through in the distant past tense.
Anomalies proximal. Solutions improbable. Voyagers hobble till we work this out.
When the quantum field spikes can match Captain Pike's, we'll be free to return to our route.
Since we're stuck in this thing, we may as well sing! Oh, she neatly sidestepped what was clearly supposed to be a big finish by speaking the word sing. I did it wrong, with a little flourish, before sitting neatly down again in her chair with a confident little smile.
Tom thought that by the end she really didn't even look that annoyed by the situation, but behind her, Harry looked horrified.
Tom couldn't see what the big deal was. Harry didn't have much of a singing voice, but at least he knew music. He was amazing with it, actually. That had to be an advantage in a situation like this.
Like this? What even is my life?
Oh shit.
Tom tried with every fibre in his being. He tried to stay in his seat, but it was an imperative as merciless as a sudden urgent bathroom crisis.
Can relate.
And wasn't that a pleasant comparison?
The next thing he knew, he was up on his feet, taking a deep breath. No! But the words were ringing in his head, louder and louder until they were drowning out his own thoughts, and he had to expel them or else have a stroke.
What?
I had a stroke yesterday.
Oh.
It was fun.
Breaststroke, I think.
Oh yeah, that too.
What even is my life about this boat? What sat me down at this grim table dote? Release was highly overrated because I'm still incarcerated.
Was he doing a Gilbert and Sullivan thing? Okay. So maybe it is Gilbert.
Which one, though? I mean, they've got quite a body of work.
I have a song to sing. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay, there was music accompanying him from somewhere, but Tom couldn't spare enough attention to identify the style. Musical theater, anyway.
I only had a year or two to go on Earth. Now 4 years in, I'm almost been more than my life is worth.
Tom sang even as he inwardly cringed to see the faces of everyone around him change.
The problem was that he couldn't sing. The problem was that he could, and now everyone would know it.
He'd avoided years of ship-wide talent shows, and now this.
It was a bizarre sensation, though not totally unpleasant to be singing. Tom knew the words and the melody as they were happening, and then they were gone the moment they left his mouth. It was like being a puppet to his own hidden thoughts.
The invisible orchestra was building up. Tom spread his arms out for the big finish.
But since I made a friend, it'll work out in the end. Will we get back to the planet of our birth? That's what he wants, so destination?
Earth. The music crescendoed, and then stopped.
Tom sat down abruptly in his seat, out of breath and red in the face.
That was mostly okay, but it got a little weird at the end. He darted a furtive glance toward Harry.
Up at the op station, Harry had his hands clamped over his mouth. His eyes were wide and his eyebrows looked very unhappy.
Mr. Kim, said the captain, have you got something?
An unexpected sensor reading on his panel, a bug in his stomach, a song in his heart.
Harry, wild-eyed, shook his head carefully without dislodging his hands.
Sick bay, he suggested, and Harry almost jumped with relief before hightailing it to the turbolift.
Fukai moved over to the ops station to replace him, and she was humming, but it didn't go any further than that.
What was that about? Tom was wondering, when Carrie called up to the bridge to complain about the singing in engineering by singing about it in engineering.
It could have been worse. The songs weren't very long, not what you call full length. People were able to control it at least a little.
But not everybody.
Okay. I built a love in my bathtub. I thought she'd understand. I told my love a parable and got a reprimand. But if she'd only look at me and all I represent, I'd gladly kiss her dainty foot and call myself content.
Sang Chakotay.
Oh, wow!
The two of them were in the ready room with the door closed, but the song came right through on the public address. The pluck guitar part was very nice.
It didn't turn into a duet, though, so it didn't sound so good for Chakotay. That dainty foot might have to go unkissed.
But you never knew. He might get a reprise.
Next day, mess hall, breakfast. Kneeling was already humming to himself behind the counter, but then Tuvok came in.
Mr. Vulcan! It was something he hadn't said in a while, and Tuvok froze.
There was a helpful light violin note hanging in the air to orient on. That is very helpful. I wish reality would provide that more often. But Neelix didn't really need it. He was ready.
Remember when we used to be together? Remember when the two of us were one?
Oh my god.
Our old problems had a new fix when we could just be two Vicks.
Oh my
it's
god.
okay if I say you used to be fun.
Whoa! That's incredible! Chief, what a choice! Ask me about axinomancy. Well done!
I can't even take credit for that. I just skimmed it. I didn't read it closely like that. Cool. I'm glad it worked out, but that was not intentional on my part. Whoops.
Tuvok sighed deeply. It was almost emotional.
You speak about it like it was a romance, which it most assuredly was not. May I please just have my pumpkin tea and oatmeal? It would be a welcome change if they were hot.
Tom laughed around. You two sing like an old married couple.
Tuvok glanced at this, but Neelix was obviously pleased. Oh, do you think so? That's nice to hear.
She who is my wife, said Tuvok coldly, has an exquisite singing voice.
Oh, oops. Tom hadn't thought about that when he programmed the Holodoll version. What?
Yeah, hold on, let's unpack that for a second. Yours is pretty good too, Tuvok, Tom said. Maybe you should use it for something other than poetry at the talent show.
Tuvok just stared him down.
Nope, Tom was not going to get out of the next one, was he?
He was saved by the comm badge.
Come help me, B'Elanna said. Harry's trapped in cargo bay too. B'Elanna has a forceful attitude that I'm trying to convey.
Clearly. The song was apparently just starting when they went in. Seven sang a sweet alto a cappella.
Okay, no pressure, cocky. A sweet alto a cappella.
Well, a cappella is the easy part.
One and one and... Okay, hold on. I've got to touch one and one and one and one and one and one and one makes seven, and heaven knows the average Borg can presuppose the numbers will add up to infinity. But I'm not the average Borg. By myself, I can't strike a chord, so one and one and one and one and one and one and one just makes me. Yeah.
I wonder if that's that song by the Pet Shop Boys. One and one make five, I think, the lyrics in that.
All right.
But I don't think it's...
But then in a 7/8 musical time?
Oh, gosh.
Like Salisbury Hill does that.
Oh, gosh, yes. It's so painfully clear to see, even hypothetically, that infinity is not what I am feeling. There's unity in my dreams, continuity is not what it seems. That's why Unimatrix Zero's so appealing.
Ooh.
Disconnected from the hive, I must strive now to thrive, and I've got what it takes to survive. Because I'm not the average Borg, my number's prime, I'm alone aboard. So one and one and one and one and one and one means only me.
Oh, wow. This part would have been sad, but then the beat dropped. Woo!
Okay, an a cappella beat drop, that's a new one.
It was a banger. Electro swing, Tom thought when the style was called.
Is that when a beatboxer falls over?
Really, really not bad. The style was fun with an irresistible beat. He'd heard Seven had a good voice, and turned out she wasn't an alto, she was a mezzo-soprano.
But she, singing almost continuously, one and one and one and one and one and one and... and Harry playing a frantic clarinet line over and over, and Nicoletti doing the same contrapunctual oboe, were all visibly straining, drenched in sweat.
The problem was, the song didn't actually have an ending. And so Seven was just having a go-to 10 kind of moment. Oh, sick basic reference. They'd been through it a couple of times already. The song had sampling in it. There was no need to work Harry or Sue so hard. None of them were machines, not even Seven.
But really, it sounded great.
Tom conferenced with BLT.
Oh,
B'Elanna Taurus.
Shouldn't that just be T?
There's an L in there, B'Elanna. Like it was her academy nickname.
Right, yes. Okay. What do we do?
Make a sign that says fade out?
They tried it, showed it to Seven. She frowned quizzically, but the concept seemed to suffice. The background music finally faded out. Harry and Sue groaned and sat down where they were, dropping their replicated instruments in exhaustion.
Are you okay? Tom asked Harry and Sue, and B'Elanna asked the same of Seven. Both woodwind players nodded, too woodwinded to speak. Oh, this is fantastic!
I think I need to go regenerate now, Seven said faintly, and B'Elanna helped her to the alcove.
Maybe sick bay, Tom tried to suggest, but Seven was already plunged into her socket, and Harry and Sue shook their heads.
Let me get you some water, he tried next, but Harry said,
Thanks for helping us out. Please go away.
What?
Harry shrugged and wiped sweat from his eyes, but the way he did it made Tom think he was avoiding his gaze. I mean it. Go away.
And then BLT was hauling on Tom's arm. You heard him. Come on.
What's his problem? Tom complained as they went into a turbolift. I was only trying to help.
Are you kidding me? She snaps, and suddenly, what kind of dope are you? Why don't you have a clue? How can any pilot fly with such a short supply of view?
Are my words getting through? Where is your loosened screw? Do you even realize who is suffering for you?
No, be quiet. You wouldn't sing at the talent show. You don't get to sing now.
It's time to open your eyes and consider fraternizing with someone who knows what kind of dope you are.
She was a good singer, but Tom wasn't even sure she knew she was singing. She was so pissed off. Even the invisible orchestra seemed a bit muted, as though worried about offending her.
I don't, Tom tried, but just then the lift doors opened and B'Elanna stomped away. The music went with her, fading even more with distance.
Did he know what she meant?
No. That's what kind of dope Tom was.
He thought she was singing about herself, and it was embarrassing, but he was afraid to try and ask her about it. Also, he wasn't sure he wanted to be with someone he was afraid to ask clarifying questions of.
But if B'Elanna meant herself, then why did she say fraternize?
Could she mean?
If I think too much about it, then I'll probably sing about it. I already did my turn up on the bridge.
Meanwhile, in sickbay, and Tom only found out about this later because there were security cameras in sickbay, and Tom went looking. Seven went in to have electrolytes replaced after her strenuous number, and it turned out that even the doctor was affected by the anomaly.
Whoa.
Tom wondered if that was because of the AMH already loved to sing, but it was a question that would remain unanswered. Seven had already exhausted herself singing and was clearly in no mood.
Maybe he's just pretending.
Yeah.
Ooh, opportunity knocks.
Yes.
Okay, so this is in script format.
Yes.
But it's D and 7.
Yes.
Now, what do you think those letters mean? Yeah. Which one do you want?
Oh, I'll take the doctor.
All right, I'll be 7.
Please state the nature of our relationship.
We're friends.
But friendship can evolve into more.
Sometimes it ends.
If I understand correctly, I should speak more circumspectly, but if you could just...
My disbelief suspends.
For real?
No deal.
There was an awkward silence.
This feels like it could be from Cabaret. I wish there was like... Oh, very quickly, I'm going to look and see if there's notes at the end.
Oh, there
that
are,
maybe
but
give
I'm
a
not sure if they're
clue.
relevant.
Yeah. A few of the songs are specifically based on other real songs, but many of them are just noodled up. Okay, no, fine. Then, well, said the doctor, that definitely concluded lesson 6. Beguiling banter in your social lessons. Excellent work.
I was not attempting to beguile. I was doing lesson 86. Hell, no, you're not my beau.
It was scarcely even a song, more like the opposite of an advertising jingle. But there was that mysterious music in the air, hopeful and jaunty, quickly giving way to disconcerted tootling. So Tom thought it counted.
Hell, no, you're not my beau.
It sounds more like a protest. Hell, no, you're not my beau. Hell, no, you're not my beau.
Tom should have been able to catch up to Harry, but he almost didn't want to. His brain was still churning through B'Elanna's song.
For the first time, it was starting to occur to him what she actually meant.
She believed it, or she wouldn't have sung it. And if she believed it, it might be true.
But God damn it, it just had to be some kind of stupid misunderstanding. Couldn't guys be friends? Couldn't guys be best friends who spent all their time together?
Apparently they're very good roommates.
Couldn't...
Oh, Tom was standing in the corridor like an idiot. People were coming and going around him, giving him worried looks, but no one wanted to ask him what was up, in case it sparked off another song.
Suddenly, Tom knew where Harry must be headed.
Baytard, I need a favor.
Baytard? Oh, that's just the name of a person.
Yes, that's what I assumed.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was a weird nickname for B'Elanna.
Wow.
Baytard, yeah, sorry. Smash cut to Baytard's quarters. Tom pressed a hastily replicated water glass against the bulkhead separating Baytard's quarters from Harry's. It turned out to be painfully unnecessary. The song came right through, amplified by the fluid conduit.
That's not how it works when you press a glass against something. There's not supposed to be water in it, I think.
No, I think this means that in the wall there is a fluid conduit that already amplifies.
I mean, I would think that on a spaceship that would not work. I mean, I've never been on a spaceship, obviously, but I've been on boats.
Right.
And usually there's enough engine vibration that putting a glass against your ear against the glass on the wall.
Good point. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay.
It kind of didn't matter whether Harry could sing at all. The words were at a frantic pace, the voice of anxiety itself. Tom had to strain to listen to catch every word. There was no time to process what he was hearing until the end.
Okay, so this is a beat poem. Had to get back to my quarters before I gave myself away because my stupid brain is buzzing with the things that I can say. From the very day I met him, he has been my closest friend. This anomaly will force me to destroy that in the end.
And to think it's all from music sent into a subspace fold. I just know it's going to force me to reveal the things untold. He has never ever mentioned being interested in men. If he finds out that I want him, then we'll never speak again. Friendship over just like that when the bag lets out the cat.
Ooh. It was a good thing he had put the glass down, or Tom would have dropped it in shock.
Tom slipped out of Baytart's quarters and fled the area. Okay, so it's just the quarters next to... Yeah.
You're right, yeah, next to Harry's.
Yes. The song boiling up inside him was not going to wait. He could already hear a big band orchestra warming up before Tom was ready to deal with it. The opening bars of Moonlight Serenade, it was definitely Moonlight Serenade, were enfolding him.
It was a song that didn't usually have lyrics, but it did now. An invisible clarinet in the orchestra made Tom a little paranoid, but Harry was nowhere around. Sometimes a clarinet was just a clarinet.
Yeah. Whoa, I didn't know you didn't show the slightest shadow of this manifesto. Although, if you told me so, I could go with the flow. So long status quo, I'd only guessed, okay, if we could take it slow, why not give it a go? Do you really suppose I'd say no?
Who are you singing about? Naomi Wildman asked. Bellana or Harry?
There was the distinct sound of a record scratch, and the music vanished.
Said Tom.
Naomi Wildman had hardly noticed anything was different about the ship at first. Lots of the Flutter Holos had sung... Flutter? What's a Flutter Holo?
Flutter is a popular children's holographic character.
Okay.
There's a lot of shows and stories with Flutter, apparently.
Lots of the Flutter Holos had songs, and they worked out in the same way. Somehow... Oh, that's the little kid, Naomi Wildman.
Yeah.
Right, yes, okay.
She's the daughter of Ensign Wildman.
Someone talking would suddenly be singing, and then there would be music in the air to match.
Huh. Yeah. It's fine to her.
Yeah.
Naomi was getting old enough now to notice when fun things had messages in them. Listen to instructions, don't give false alarms, the real treasure is your friend, all that stuff.
She could see it happen to grown-ups when they were starting to have fun. They would suddenly remember there was supposed to be a message, and everything would get so boring.
However, some of the songs lately had much more interesting messages.
Commander Chakotay wanted to kiss feet.
Neelix liked being Tuvok so much, he wished he could go back to it. Oh, whoa!
Finally, the kitchen's organized.
And I've got my shit together. And I don't wake up with anxiety spirals that I have to deny by being cheerful all day long.
And Lieutenant Tom sounded like he finally noticed something that everybody else on the ship had known basically forever.
It must be Harry, Naomi said, because you and B'Elanna tried to go out and you didn't last a week. So you know she likes you a little, but Harry likes you a lot.
Lieutenant Tom made a strangled noise.
Oh, everybody knows, she informed him seriously. I've known for ages. Seven knows, but she doesn't care. I'm sure even Kess probably knew. Naomi dimly remembered Kess and had idolized her. Oh.
This can't be happening, said Lieutenant Tom. He was getting red in the face.
Tuvok definitely knows, Naomi went on. Harry went to him for help suppressing his feelings. I don't think it worked.
That was about that holodeck woman, the one that turned out to be an alien. His voice could get really high and loud.
Naomi gave him a pitying look. That's just what he told you. Duh.
How would you know all of this? He demanded.
That's classified.
The truth was that most people just didn't think to check on the tables or desks before telling gossip.
Listen, kid, Tom started the sail, but Naomi really hated being called that, and suddenly there was music in the air backing her up. It was kind of bouncy but determined. Naomi planted her feet and took a deep breath.
Don't call me a kid. Don't give me that doubt. I'm so stupid that I'm the one spelling it out. I'm the ship's expert on hearing the news. So shut up and listen and do what you choose.
I hear it everywhere. Under table, under chair. Gossip flies at the speed of a song. Everybody knows where you belong.
Don't kid me, Tom. It's not just me. You shouldn't fly if you can't see. A kid, you see how Harry acts. Don't kid a kid. Just face the facts.
He's handsome and brave and he loves you. It's time to decide now what you're gonna do. He's worth more than the old status quo. Don't kid me, Tom. I told you so.
Yeah, the return from the mouth of babes, as they say.
Yeah, right?
Not sure how brave he is, Tom grumbled. He keeps running away.
But he didn't try to say Harry wasn't handsome, because Tom really wasn't blind, thank you very much. He could see what he'd missed all this time, now that he really thought about it.
It took Naomi to shake him up and make him see what Balana had been really singing about. Harry had always been there, every step of the way on Tom's path to redeeming himself in the eyes of the crew. Well, maybe not every step, but whenever Tom got back from the latest curry, like going undercover or turning into a lizard,
Yeah, there's that.
Harry would still be there, glad to see Tom.
The galaxy was not heavily populated with people who were glad to see Tom.
Harry was more than glad. Tom had heard it himself. The things people were singing were true. That was why they were singing them.
All bridge officers report to the bridge immediately. It wasn't Janeway's voice. She'd set the computer to make the announcement. Because unlike the EMH, it wasn't affected by the anomaly. Avoid using communicators.
Janeway kept her mouth resolutely shut. She had to press a button to interact with the computer.
The computer said, in the usual voice, "This is the same anomaly encountered by NCC 1701 Enterprise on stardate 2398.3. Its properties are the same, but power levels have significantly reduced over time."
Each song event causes a spike in the state of quantum improbability. A spike equal to or exceeding the 36 giga-electron volts would create an improbability-breaking event, shattering the quantum improbability field.
Conclusion. A grand finale is required. The whole bridge crew needs to sing together in thematic unison.
A song cannot be triggered without an emotional purpose, and as the computer said this, everyone on the bridge turned to look expectantly at Tom.
Oh, wow.
With glances towards Harry.
Wow, that's
Wow.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
really great. Oh, yeah, we need your unrequited romance to be resolved in front of us all now. It was time for the showstopper. If they could pull this off, Tom might even be forgiven for all the talent show no-shows. Oh,
Talent no-show?
AxeMeAboutAxinomancy is a really good writer. These are fun.
He turned to Harry and took a deep, deep breath.
Don't want to take too long to say I kind of heard your song today.
Oh God, said Harry. Tom went on hurriedly.
Don't get me wrong, it's totally okay. I've been ridiculously slow to see what everyone must know, but there's just one thing I hope you can convey. Exactly what you see in such a dope as me. And Harry, maybe this time, please don't run away.
That's an order, said Janeway, pointing at one of the many screens displaying the quantum improbability readout.
Harry sang, a little wobbly to start out, but gaining confidence as he warmed up and went on.
You're so slow on the uptake, Tom. You really take the cupcake, Tom. How do I even make you understand? From the moment that we met right up to present duet, I'm not exactly something that I planned. I don't know when the thought took hold, but now that we're in this subspace fold, I have to say it now regardless of regret. Feelings that were mine to deal with, I assumed you wouldn't feel, and if you don't, well, I hope you can forget.
And now it switches to Tom.
It goes Tom
we're going to
and
have to
Harry.
do different voices
All right.
for Tom and Harry. What's your Harry voice?
Oh gosh.
You're gonna have to you can make a
I
choice.
don't know. I mean, you just do Tom, I'll do Harry. That'll be easier.
Yeah, okay, but okay. So I'll be Tom. Yes.
Yeah.
That actually, yeah. We don't actually need to stick
No.
voices. Okay. But I don't get why you stand up for me from the outset.
I owed you one. Remember when you saved me from disgrace?
That was nothing. That Ferengi needed putting in his place.
But you didn't have to do it, and you didn't rub it in. When the Exo and the Doctor ran their mouths about your sins, I decided then and there they wouldn't win.
That's kind of thin.
I can see you have to work to make my case, but do you need to hear me say it?
Finger it, said Captain Janeway.
Do I have to spell it out? The truth is you doofus. Oh, make me yell it out. Okay, I love you. Are you happy now?
But can't you tell me why?
I can only show you if you want to try.
I could cry, Janeway chimed in, because apparently she was going to keep doing that. Tom strongly suspected she was taking this part to avoid having to sing full out with the others in the chorus.
The harmony of us, it could be more obvious. Seems everyone knew but us. Harmonious. What about us? Chakotay said aside to Janeway quietly, but the bridge acoustics weren't normal right now, and everyone could hear.
Janeway had been wise to make the computer do the briefing, Tom thought. She'd saved up her voice for that reprise after all. Take it away, Kay. It's a long one. Enjoy.
Chakotay, you're an eminently eligible male. I really liked the bathtub and I understood your tale. If we hadn't cured that virus, maybe feelings would prevail, but though we're in a musical, it's not a fairy tale. Now we're back here on our job, it simply won't compute. To hide would hurt your pride and mine, so the question's moot.
burn.
Yeah.
Chakotay glanced around, but privacy was long since vaporized. So it's all about the opinions of others and not what you really want?
The captain opened her mouth to answer normally, but the music swelled and she had to run with it.
When the magic songs are over, we will need the status quo. I must keep the crew's respect, and I can't do that if they know. How can they trust I'll be objective if you're sleeping in my bed?
Chakotay replied, "Maybe you could visit mine instead."
I'll build another bathtub and tell another story. This time the angry warrior is not my allegory. I'll serve and be your friend, whatever you decide. The wisdom of your spirit is our guide. But that aside, it's an order you could always override.
The music contracted to a single, suspenseful violin. So much weight on one little string.
I had a cousin who had a scratchy violin. Sorry.
They looked into each other's eyes. It was a suspenseful violin, not a scratchy one, but yes.
Janeway said, I'll think about it.
Thank you, Captain, Chakotay said warmly. That's all I ask.
The music surged back in relief, and everyone sang, The harmony of us, it couldn't be more obvious. Seems everybody knew but us harmonious. Okay, we're not doing it.
No.
Harmonious. Let's do that one.
Harmonious.
Yeah.
You could feel how close they were all to what they needed. The screens all said 33. Just a few more points of sincerity.
The turbolift doors opened, and Neelix and Naomi came running on the bridge. Time to shine for Neelix!
Tuvok sighed audibly. It was very emotional. And then he sang, I remember when we used to be together. I remember when the two of us were one. Some of it was pleasant, but we live now in the present. Our chimera's fate can never be undone.
My bad, said Janeway.
Right.
Neelix replied.
I was going to say, we're going to schedule a short little intermezzo while Kaki starts breathing again.
Oh my God. I know we can't go back there, Mr. Vulcan, but I'm glad to hear you didn't find it bad. If that simple fact is true, well, I must say I never knew. You enjoyed it too. I'm a little sad.
Neelix's whiskers drooped and the music wobbled.
Around the bridge, eyes widened in horror. Oh no, they needed a happy ending. They had to keep singing.
Tuvok did not panic. Tom had seen him do this before when someone needed his help. He rose to the occasion by stooping to their level.
You should not be sad. You must know he's not gone. My Katra remembers him. It will live on.
Neelix stared at Tuvok for a long moment, then he brightened like sunrise.
What a wonderful thing for my best friend to say. Oh my goodness, I never thought I'd see the day. You really have feelings, unlike what I feared.
Tuvok's voice was as dry as the Shashashar Desert. Of course I have feelings, just don't make it weird.
You know, Tim Russ is a really good singer. Oh, I had a chance to go see him perform live, and I wasn't able to because I was super jet-lagged, and I just couldn't make it out. I'm still kicking myself.
Oh.
He has an album out. He's got a really nice version of Love the One You're With that I really enjoy. The screens were throbbing at 35 now, but nobody needed them. You could feel it in the air, pushing at your eardrums, the pressure of the imminent big finish. Everybody was looking at Tom. Time to make up for shirking all those talent shows.
Tom looked into Harry's eyes. Now or never. You don't owe me anything short of the truth. Now that I know it, the songs are the proof. Trying is something I'm dying to do. The answer is yes, if the question is you.
I haven't been lucky in love before this.
Naomi stomped her foot on the deck. Oh my God, will the two of you kiss?
Everybody looked at them expectantly. That suspenseful violin string, squeak, was doing its thing again. It sounded like it was at the snapping point.
Now? Said Harry uncertainly, and Tom could have laughed if the situation weren't so physically tense at how goddamn cute Harry was.
Do it, Janeway snapped. Just mind the rating, gentlemen.
Neelix looked worried, ushered a protesting Naomi back to the turbo lift.
Oi! Harry took a shaking breath.
Just a kiss. I'm not doing more than this.
At Tom's expression, Harry quickly amended, on the bridge, in front of everyone. It isn't what I would have done, but now
Tom's nerve had broken and he had just learned in while Hadley was still singing. They kissed, sort of. What?
It was awkward. It was concentrated awkwardness. Did they have any chemistry at all? Tom leaned back, his face burning with embarrassment, and got ready to take the blame.
Harry looked at Tom incredulously, then pulled him in for another attempt.
It was much, much better.
Out of the corner of his eye, Tom could see people moving around, spinning, arms waving and whatnot. It was the big finale after all. He was so glad he didn't have to dance.
Jazz hands!
All he had to do was stand still in the middle of it, making out with his best friend.
Holy crap, Harry could kiss!
And everybody else sang. It might have been everybody on the ship. Tom never knew.
Melodious, harmonious, so obvious, harmonious! No. Yeah, see, okay, it takes some kind of baseline or practice.
Yes. The anomaly releasing was like a musical orgasm, Tom thought privately. There was a muffled boom, and the ship shuddered like, I needed that.
Okay, hey, Voyager can get it. Just to make the point, and to make up for his first silly attempt, Tom extended the kiss a little past the ending. He could feel Harry shaking with suppressed laughter.
They bumped foreheads a little when the kiss ended, but that was on purpose.
I'm so glad you have a sense of humor, he murmured near Harry's ear.
Harry did laugh then. I kinda have to.
There was no trace of embarrassment. He looked amazing. He had his arm around Tom's waist like it belonged there. On the bridge!
Well, you said you were sick of the status quo, said Tom.
And you said something interesting would happen.
Oh, it will, Tom said, and they snickered like idiots, and might have gone back to kissing if Chakotay hadn't clapped Tom hard on the shoulder. Good job, everyone.
They broke apart, but the atmosphere on the bridge now was more, okay, get back to work, than acknowledging social faux pas. Rollins and Fukai high-fived one another. Everybody was sweaty and panting, grinning and relaxed as they drifted back towards their stations.
Bridge orgy complete.
Tuvok looked as unruffled as though this were any average Thursday, but he did seem satisfied that the disruptions was over.
Back to work? Now? Tom and Harry gazed at one another like they were being torn apart on the molecular level. A whole galaxy of space stretched between the Helm and Ops.
Later, Harry said softly, and though he spoke normally, Tom's ear had become attuned to the potential for hidden music. This was not a rehearsal.
Later, said Tom, and then, because he couldn't resist, I owe you one.
Aww, cue Voyager end theme roll credits. Da 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 la 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 da 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 ba 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 da ba 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 ba.
So yes, some notes. When the original series How Much for Just the Planet by John M. Ford came out, I was a senior in high school. I read that book so many times, but only this year did I learn that many of the original characters were based on writers.
Obviously, says AxeMeAboutAxinomancy. Obviously, I loved the Subspace Rhapsody episode of Strange New Worlds so much, and I've wanted to do a Voyager musical for years, so I borrowed the same anomaly.
A few of the songs are specifically based on other real songs, but many of them are just noodled up. I can't actually write music, but I really enjoy writing lyrics.
And did a fantastic job, by the way. Robert Duncan McNeil totally can sing. He sounds great. It's my headcanon that Tom doesn't want people to know that because he prefers to be a snarky audience member at the talent shows. This was really, really good. Oh.
Yes, so this was... What's the name of the song again? Oh, gosh.
Musical Alert.
Musical Alert.
By AxeMeAboutAxinomancy. Good. Sure. I know. The chief has already told us what it is, but we can't hear it until the temporal vortex sort of surges back our way. It's got these tides, right? Goes in and out. So, let me see. Next week we're doing an episode. Chief, which episode are we discussing next week?
That would be DS9 222, The Wire.
Thank you. And then after that, we're doing another story reading because that's what you really tune into, right?
Yes,
that's what you like. This is mostly about the story readings because there's so many excellent Star Trek stories.
So we have this a brief summary of the story here for you.
Yes.
When he got back to the Cerritos, they'd say, "Hey, Boimler, what kind of kick-ass stuff did you get to do when you visited the golden age of exploration?" And he'd have to respond, "I stripped Mr. Spock."
Whoa. Oh, yes. Next one is that one. Is those old scientists that we're doing.
Yep.
Chief is doing such a good job selecting these stories.
Absolutely. This is lovely tie-in with the rest of the podcast that we are having.
I know. I'm so excited. So I guess we'll find that out. So see you next week and the week after and deep into the future. I'm Cocky.
I'm Kay.
The hell is this?
I'm leaving Starfleet.
Energize!
Energize!
We hope you've enjoyed this week's episode with your friends Kay and Kaki, production and editing by Chief Engineer Greg, and music by Fox Amore. Join us next week for The Wire, DS9 222, followed by the debriefing incident, the fanfiction reading. Visit joyoftrek.com/links to send us your recommendations, support us on Patreon, or to find us on Blue Sky. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening to The Joy of Trek, and we'll see you out there.